Welcome to the Prophecy Chronicles with your host, Paul Richard
The views
Price.
expressed and opinions given by the individual hosts and their guests do not necessarily reflect those of Dark Plains Radio, its affiliates, or its sponsors.
Hello, good morning, everybody, and it's Paul Richard Price here with the Prophecy Chronicles on Dark Plains Radio Network. And my guest today is Dianne Irene. She is involved as a teacher of mastery and personal responsibility. She has served as college and industrial educator and consultant to various institutions and co-founder of Global Development Group, which focuses on ethical leadership, responsible technology, and the environment. She has had over 15 years of experience in speaking. Dianne Irene has spoken for educational events, seminars, nutrition companies. She is a published writer, and her works have appeared in newsletters, websites, and publications. So I'd like to formally thank Dianne for being on my show. Hello, Dianne. How are you doing?
Well, thank you, Paul. Thanks for having me today.
And let me ask you, starting off with the first question, I understand that you have a background in performance and that you have had a chance to perform in several countries. What did you gain from that experience?
Well, I was very blessed from a young age to be very involved in the arts and some different things. And, you know, those opportunities, I think, really helped to develop an aspect of myself and explore expression. Being exposed to all these different cultures, which is very valuable. I think your world becomes a bigger place when you realize that not everyone sees the world the way that you do. And that culture that you grow up in is not the only one that matters. And the different people from around the world have unique and interesting aspects of themselves to contribute to humanity.
And what is your education background, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, I've attended 22 colleges, and I've studied a lot of different things, including psychology, music, technology, philosophy, counseling, and nutrition. I also believe research is very important, so I do a lot of research. And I've tried to really challenge my thoughts and ideas, and I consider myself definitely a lifelong student. I think the more you learn, the more you definitely realize, the more there is to learn. You know, you don't know everything. And I always want to know more. I wish I could live for 1,000 years because, you know, the time that we have in our life is just not enough.
And what made you gravitate towards your mission?
I think I've had a calling inside of myself since I was little. I think I've always known that I was here for a purpose that was much bigger than myself. I think I grew up with a sense that I was here for a reason and that the other side is definitely involved in my life. I know what I do in this life is my personal responsibility, and one day I will get to see an even bigger picture on the other side. When I was little, I was interested in traveling to other countries. I wanted to give away shoes and toys. I remember telling my father I wanted to go to prison so I could talk to the people. I like volunteering, and I think I feel drawn to that. I like to work, as crazy as that may sound. And I think, you know, when you do what you're passionate about, it doesn't seem like work. You're willing to even do things without pay because it's just something that you're very passionate about.
Is this part of your artistic side, the side that makes you where you want to give back?
Well, I'm sure that, you know, the artistic side and not the logical side certainly puts you in touch with your feelings and makes it easier for you to express yourself and want to be involved in things. But I would hope that that part of us that wants to give back is part of that spirit, you know, the part that makes us animated. And I hope, you know, that eventually we will all get to that place where we realize the beauty in giving back to others, because it really is. It gives so much to yourself when you do that.
Explain to me, what is the beauty of giving back?
When you give to other people, it does something to yourself. You know, you realize that you are not the only person in this world that matters, and it feeds your own spirit, it feeds your own soul. You become somebody who has something to offer someone else, and I think that that is beauty. I also think that, you know, we all belong to each other. We're all part of the same race. When you realize that two heads are better than one, it's always a better place.
Your family came from America during the time when Hitler and the communists invaded Austria. Your grandfather was a major in the army, was not fond of Hitler and his actions. What kind of impact did that have on your family's life?
An interesting story. My grandmother and grandfather lived a very good life back then, and Hitler and then later the communists came in and they changed everything. It was a hostile takeover, and Hitler was not popular with the Hungarians. Since about the age of 10, my grandfather was in military school, belt in Stalin. He became a major, and I was told that that's equivalent to like a one-star general here in the U.S. My grandmother, on the other hand, she was a teacher, and she spoke 5 languages, and she was incredibly talented. She was very upset about extortion letters that she received from the communists, and they threatened to actually dig up her parents and throw the bodies aside. And on the other hand, my grandfather also knew some of the cool experiments that Hitler was doing, and he was very upset about that. He resented Hitler, and he blamed him for destroying a lot of what was happening in the country. He also understood that the communists meant business when they invaded, and he left Austria, and he wouldn't go back because he would have been imprisoned or executed. And he also planned to take the family to Australia, but the very last second the U.S. opened, and that's how he ended up coming here. And while he was alive, he did not want his family to go back because he was afraid that they would use them to retaliate against himself. He ended up in a POW camp. I was assured, that he was actually treated well compared to what was happening with a lot of other people that were stuck in the middle of their budget time. And then after the war, he decided not to go back, and he was basically had to create a new life in America. And they had to start all over from scratch. And they would send back clothes and goods to the family that was left behind in Europe, and they never knew how much of those things they got. Because obviously whoever was, watching those borders had access to those things before anything was sent through. And before the war, my grandmother, Irene, she had a aristocratic life, but then during the war, she ended up having to sell off her jewelry and possessions. And they came through Ellis Island, and they went through a sponsor, and later he worked as an engineer for Grinnell. And my grandmother later worked in social service at the children's home. So there was a lot of adjustment in culture for them. And I think that has really inspired me. They went through an incredible amount. And I think I also was very inspired by many of the people in Europe who actually even helped Jews during those ugly and embarrassing times for humanity.
Your grandfather and grandmother, at least in your eyes and, hopefully in my listeners, were heroes. Am I correct on that?
Well, I think they're heroes to me. I think anybody who survived those times and came through is a hero. And there are a lot of unsung heroes. In fact, I met some Hungarians up in Cleveland, Ohio, and they shared their stories with me, but unfortunately they were very private about it. They didn't want to talk a lot about it because a lot of them still feel the suppression left over from that era. A lot of them put their lives on the line to save people from the travesty that was going on there. And so they are heroes.
How would you say that has directly affected you right now? From hearing the stories from your grandparents, how do you think that's affected you in what you're doing currently today?
I think, where you come from and the things that your family goes through certainly affects how they behave, and then how they behave certainly affects how you behave. I also think that, understanding what is developed out of struggles as far as your personality, as far as your endurance, they've developed a lot of character after going through a lot of those things. And so you're exposed to that character, and hopefully you're smart enough to recognize that and say, my goodness, this is the kind of character that I want in my life. So I think it's a trickle-down effect, and the end, you have to decide if that's going to be part of your life, and they can watch from the other side, and hopefully I will do things that they love.
What do you think is your mission in life?
Well, I definitely think I'm a teacher at heart, and hopefully I can empower others and give them hope. And always stress that we have to love each other. That's probably the most important mission. It's a message that anybody can give. I also think I need to stress personal responsibility to others and myself, and continue to grow and reach for better things for humanity. I'm an instrument for whatever inspiration the other side has for me and for humanity. And I've learned to be open-minded and ready to rethink things. And, we don't always get things right the first time. I want the truth, and I think humanity needs it. It is time for us to evolve. But we need to evolve with truth and love.
Well, what you're talking about in evolution, you're talking the humanity evolving not so much in a physical sense, but in a spiritual and psychological sense, if I'm correct, right?
Exactly. That's exactly right.
Okay, and I understand that you, like many others, have had a near-death experience, and I've shared mine with my listeners before in the past. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure, I had a near-death experience, and I think for me personally, it took me in a direction that I didn't even realize right away. Many of the fears disappear, and you entire life. When your body is dying, you realize how separate your body is from your spirit, and we know that the body houses the spirit, and the spirit is really the main part of who you are. And it helps you to really kind of look at others and to recognize that, to look beyond the physical. Especially in our society in the United States, we're so obsessed with the physical and the surface and, having the most expensive clothes and shoes and cars. And you really kind of sit back and you start looking deep into people's eyes. You recognize their spirit. And a lot of times people's spirits look very different than their bodies do.
To me, that is kind of amazing that you would be able to have that kind of insight, especially when the entertainment industry today mainly focuses on what you want now and oh, am I beautiful? What makes you different, Dianne, than anyone else that your contemporaries?
Well, I will say this. You realize very quickly, the superficial aspects are fleeting. They don't last very long. And anybody who has had to go through auditions or had to be critiqued by other individuals, I think they do know. They know full well deep inside that, those things are not really who they are. It's just that they are basically tools they're using, to market themselves and be involved. And they know that eventually, those things are going to go away. Eventually we're not all going to be size 2 and 16 years old. We're going to age. Things are going to head south, and there's no way around that until obviously we change that. But I think they do know. I think they realize that, and that's why some of them go through such an extreme to keep it alive, so to speak. But, I think that it's just whether or not you have the strength to look beyond those things. And unfortunately, there's so much stress and strain on a lot of the people involved. And, we've seen the result of that, and that's unfortunate. But I think there are people out there who realize that and are able to kind of stand aside from all of those things and realize that their value is really in the legacy that they leave.
What do you think about the legacy of mankind? How do you think we can change what it is we're doing now to further benefit the inhabitants of our planet, to make their lives better?
I think it starts waking up. I think we've forgotten who we are on this side, and I think that many of the superficial things we've got caught up in, and they don't really matter on the other side. And I think everyone on this planet is a spiritual being, and we all have a value, we all have a purpose. I think life is sacred. We can never forget that. We also need to remember that we belong to each other. Religion, politics, money, it divides us on many issues, but in spirit, we're only one race. We really need to realize that there is value, and when we realize that life is sacred, then that's really the foundation that we need to build everything else.
Well, what do you think is the underlying cause of most of our issues on this planet?
I think that really is the ticket. That's what matters, and that's the main thing that we need to kind of wake up and realize, and we can build from that. Once we realize the value in the person standing next to you, then you look at the world very differently. Your goals are different, your objectives are different, how you want to affect humanity is different, and some people have gotten caught up in the whole power thing, and they've lost track of that.
What can the audience do to be more environmentally responsible?
Well, I think the first thing we need to do is educate ourselves. Secondly, we need to wake up and realize that we need to become personally responsible for ourselves and become energy independent. Having a mass energy system has not served our planet very well, and it's really given away to a lot of greed and control. We've really burdened our planet and our ecosystem. The Great Garbage Patch is an example. It's the size of Texas, and it has like 3.5 million tons of trash in it. Everything from shoes and pacifiers to bags of toothbrushes and bottles, and they're just floating out there, halfway between Hawaii and San Francisco, and it's affecting the marine life and our water. And an article recently was also published in SeattlePI.com that reported a study where children were tested. They found what they call organ phosphate, and that's a family of pesticides that actually comes from nerve gas, agents that were used like in World War II. And then those same children went on to eat organic fruits, vegetables, and juices, and then they couldn't find the pesticides anymore. So, this is what we've done to our food supply. And also, energy independence is a very important step. It's affordable, and it is very realistic. Even though there's a lot of exciting developments that panels that you can purchase for about $1,000 a piece, or you can even make your own for, a couple of $100s. Really, it's just the tip of the iceberg. I would really encourage others to really do the research and find out just all the options that are out there. We even have hybrid cars that are coming to the market. We have models that get 300 miles per gallon. And there's others that are electric, and they're getting better all the time. They are improving all the time. We also can use fuels made from anything from apples or anything that can produce an alcohol. And it burns clean. We would have no more damaging emissions. We'd have no more smog production. And all of these things can contribute to it. And there's a lot of other things that are also available out there, and we need to support these people who are inventing these things, get the word out, and really move forward towards making these things affordable and available to everyone. And some are expensive, but some are not, and they are getting more and more affordable all the time. And that's one of the things that we really stress at GDG.
To help further educate my listeners on vortex energy production, look up the papers Dr. Hal put off, read my paper on vortex gravity control, and you'll get an idea. What you're doing is that you're creating a quantum vortex that can sequence zero-point energy and allow for a steady stream of usable energy from that particular point. If you want to, write me at my email address, paulpreister@gmail.com, and I'll forward information to you. Further on, Dianne, there are those who feel that there are too many of us on this earth. In fact, the power elite, like with the Georgia Guidestones, believe that we need to be at a sustainable population of 500 million worldwide. And they're even talking about using biowarfare and other methods to bring down the world's population. Do you feel the same way they do? And what do you think the best solution is to help us get into a sustainable population?
Well, I do think that we have to start thinking about the future and realize that history can repeat itself. We've seen that. Hitler wanted to get rid of the Jews. The communists wanted to conquer the world. I hope as a human race we will get on that and learn from it. Every human being matters on this planet. If there is an issue, then let's address it openly and honestly. There are things that we can do to be responsible in procreation. We know for a fact that the more educated people become, the fewer children they have. We also know that there are issues with population decline. Europe is facing that issue. Italy is a country in Europe where the people over 65 are outnumbering those under the age of 15. An article even appeared in the Toronto Sun that talked about Canadians becoming an endangered species and that their fertility rate is declining. We also know in Japan that they're facing population decline. We also know that we have serious infertility issues. There was a conference that actually revealed that like 85% of the sperm produced by healthy males was DNA damaged. And that's very serious. We do think the population by strategic reduction, that you were talking about earlier, that's just not even an acceptable solution for leaders that are spiritually mature. That's really something that we need to be very, very careful because it really is the Hitler mentality. And, there was a report by Jacques Cousteau of UNESCO. Poirier said that one American burdens the earth much more than 20 Bangladeshis. This is a terrible thing to say. In order to stabilize world populations, we must eliminate 350,000 people per day. It's a horrible thing to say, but it's just as bad not to say it. I disagree. I think that that's a very scary mentality, and, I also think that there are a lot of statistics that show that it's actually happening both ways. And for those areas where we do have too much population, then let's address the real issues behind why that is. And I would say one factor that we need to consider is that we're not self-sufficient. It's very realistic to consider the consequences that this has had on the planet and society. If each community or family grew more of their own food, produced their own electricity, obviously environmentally waste, and if we took personal responsibility for our own welfare, then the world would be a much better place to live. And it's an ideal that we need to strive for, and very soon. The mass production of energy is very harmful and has taken a toll on our ecosystem. It's caused a lot of greed and hardship for humanity, and the fact that the human race has not taken responsibility in this issue is not an acceptable thing for our future, and we do need to start taking action for that. A lot of people have migrated to cities, and obviously there's a lot of high population in small areas on the planet. Obviously this does example of that is males that live in cities actually produce more testosterone. And that means that they will be more susceptible to stress and stress diseases and even violence. You know, we all appreciate the conveniences that city life provide, and that's certainly understandable, but we haven't designed them so that they are really a concern for human development in mind. Cities should be designed with harmony and with the environment, and we need to really think about how it affects the ecosystem. The ancient architects designed buildings in conjunction with the sun so they could use the best light source. Many of these buildings are still standing after thousands of years, and this is certainly a testament to their great skill. But we've allowed greed and money to create cities, and crowding and pollution. The buildings were not built to last thousands of years and to be in harmony with nature. So if we build correctly, then we won't have to build so often and at the expense of the ecosystem, and we won't need to crowd small areas so much.
You brought up some very good points. You've heard of Plato's writings on Atlantis, how they met their untimely demise because they lost their humanity and started actually focusing more on their technology and technological developments. Do you see us as a society worldwide going in that same direction as the Atlanteans?
Yes, I definitely do. And, this isn't the first time. I think besides Atlantis, we also see, an ancient Sumerian tablet that gives another example of that. It tells about an evil wind that makes land like a desert, and it said that the son of one of the gods, quote-unquote gods, fashioned a weapon and poisoned it. There was this light and the wind that they did not expect. It killed man, beasts, and even the gods were affected. And then it described that a poison cloud moved east and that nothing could stop it. And the description sounds very much like a nuclear detonation, and this was thousands of years ago. So I do think that humanity has had cycles of civilization that has really become advanced and then declined. It's happened more than once, obviously, from the writings of Atlantis. And I think that humanity has dealt technology and that we have to really use it wisely and value life above everything else. We need to be responsible for our technological advances. There are consequences and laws that we have to abide by in the physical realm, and when we don't do that, we face those consequences.
What kind of consequences are we looking at here?
A very good example would be the nuclear radiation that's left over from a lot of our fission plants. It's extremely dangerous, and a lot of the things that we have buried in the 70s in barrels are now leaking into the ecosystem. It's going into the watershed. It's going into the environment. We know that cancer rates since the 1900s have skyrocketed, and it is a real issue. And again, all of these things that we're talking about are things that we did ourselves, the environment. So we need to clean them up. And, these are real issues. These are real concerns. We have to think ahead and think about how the things that we produce are going to affect the environment.
What do you think we could do to put people and leaders back on track to improve humanity?
I think the first thing we have to do is realize that they're people. And somewhere along the line, if people are complacent, then we would realize, that some people have gotten off the track and respond when they get off that path. I think that we are responsible for this as a whole race. And it's our responsibility now to reroute our efforts and encourage those who are in charge to do the right thing. I think there are those that have the right intentions and have, good ideas, but maybe they've gotten off the track or they've come up with some new ideas that are questionable. But I think there are some who are even dark like Hitler, and we can't ignore that either. So I think we need to wake up and we need to be wise enough to know the difference. If you look at the philosophy of Barabbas and Jesus, I think that Jesus had a much better way of encouraging humanity to improve, and I think that philosophy also has a better chance of changing humanity. That's the goal. It is for us not to win or to hold most of the power or the money. Money means absolutely nothing on the other side. I think a lot of people confuse power and empowerment. The difference is night and day as Hitler and Gandhi. Power is controlling others, and empowerment is taking responsibility and encouraging others to use their skills and talents to reach things that help all of us. So power leaders are really the most unevolved type of leader, and the leadership of a master is empowerment. And it is the greatest form of power that any leader can have. I think what separates those who achieve in from those who don't is really the human element, and that we cannot forget. And some think that arriving in their careers is getting a big office, or getting to supervise 100 people, or getting, a lot of money. But when the day is done, we really need to look at our moments of success and obstacles and realize that it's our character and really who we are as what matters. So we need to ask ourselves what kind of leader we are, and it's very easy to be good to others when things are going well for yourself or for, your company. But it's really those who show poise when things get really hard that are really showing true leadership. And the human element can never be forgotten under any circumstance. At the end of the day, we all have families, we all have hopes, we all have dreams, we all have stories. And the most important aspect of a person's career is a legacy of integrity and empowerment they leave behind. We need to make sure that we always communicate the truth, because eventually anything less than that is going to end up coming back to haunt you, it's going to come back to corner you, just kind of like, you can call it yin yang, you can call it whatever you want to call it, but it does work. And I would say really practice positive speech, when you're having a heated discussion or an argument with someone, because this really leads to resolution. And when we're very negative, when we're talking to others, it only divides us. It really doesn't bring about any solution. We need to also make sure that we are looking at different perspectives all the time. Because someone who can only see one perspective and see the world one way is not really practicing leadership. Because leadership has to be involved in the big picture. We also have to remember winning is not our goal. We really need to reach resolution and growth. And then prosperity will come to all of us. And don't be afraid to say you're sorry when you make a mistake, and then make it right. And don't judge others by your personal expectations. We do this a lot in relationships. It has the potential to ruin a lot of them, because we really do look at other people by our own personal expectations. And that's something that I really try to take at heart. We also need to not blame just one individual when our group is not performing right. And we need to take responsibility and regroup. And that's kind of, goes into that whole idea of, being angry that one leader has failed us in a country or in a society. It means that just means we have to step up to the plate and make good things happen. We need to focus on solutions too, and not on the problems, because that, takes up a lot of energy. And realize that micromanagement is for little children and not for adults. And we also need to offer others, a service, an advice, a smile, a product. Even if we're not selling something, if we continually, offer everybody something, you can always give somebody something, a piece of yourself, even if it's just a smile, a compliment, positive attitude. It really makes a difference. And also, I think sometimes we need to realize that sometimes people who speak the least actually have the most to gain.
Let me ask, what is your definition of leadership?
Well, I think that you have to be able to think independently. You have to recognize your personal growth objectives. And you have to move from power to empowerment and definitely focus on the big picture. I don't think that it means that you've obtained power over other people, but I think it really is about accepting responsibility to transform other people's efforts into a common goal. And I think that leaders need to pursue a balance in communication, in acknowledgement, and even in resolution strategy. And I think in order to best become a leader and meet leadership qualities, you have to make sure you seek out a balance and a deeper understanding of what people's motivations are, what their perspectives are, what kind of self-protection weaknesses you might be facing, and even unbalanced emotional expressions, which many of us have. I also think that empowerment needs to be an evolved form of power. Empowerment really establishes a perspective of what is important and why it is, and the awareness of power in empowerment is how you react to those choices and recognizing your responsibility in choosing them. We need to transform and grow, and we can achieve that really by a conscious assessment of what is in ourselves and our strengths and weaknesses. We really need to know ourselves. And then beyond self-protection, because, a lot of things in history were done out of self-protection. A lot of leaders negative to more of an enlightened awareness. And then we might actually be able to work together towards peace. And I think establishing that identity balance is really the key, where we embrace and adapt to the needs of others and everyone.
What is your definition of mastery?
Well, I think before we arrived on this planet, we were given some free will. And I think as children, we really experienced a lot of life in its purest form. We were capable of great love, but I think we can also develop and be capable of great hate if we're not developing properly. I think our technology has surpassed our current personal development, and I think we're still warring among ourselves and that we've forgotten who we are. I think we're still focusing on a lot of self-protection and control and poverty and corruption, elitism. We're raping the environment, and the horrible crime of hurting our own kind, which is the human race. And I think that spirits that have been forced to leave this world and travel back to the other side because of a tragic circumstance or a near-death experience, they really come back with stories that indicate that we really embrace little of who we are on this side. And I think we need to explore the human possibilities of development and growth, and then one day, hopefully, harmony is going to surpass all of that greed and control that we have in modern society, and that we'll take personal responsibility for the planet and its people. I really think that we have the power to change the world, and that there has been those in history who have achieved the form of mastery. We've celebrated those individuals as legends, geniuses, spiritual beings, philosophers. However, many of them have also been prosecuted, killed, they've been called crazy, but they've still made a contribution that is really essential to truth, spirit, and thought. So when we've embraced this and we understand what our purpose really is, I would say that our schools should be filled with an opportunity to think about things and history critically and not just memorize a story or a perspective of someone given by, a different journey perspective. We need to stop poverty, we can cure cancer, we can save the environment, we can end the war, and we can solve the people's pain, and we can also be kind. And I think each master has realized that, and they've taken responsibility for their own choices, their own attitudes, and their own perspectives. And we need to be really careful not to judge other people's beliefs, because it serves a purpose in their life. And I think their journey is created for them, and that we need to really focus on our own journey, our own responsibilities, and our own desires. I think there's a shift happening. I think there is a new paradigm coming. I think a lot of people feel it. And I think it's time for us to choose a very different direction for our universe. We need to break out of our superstitions, our fears, and our selfishness. And then we need to think, because everything begins with thought. And that's why educating yourself is so incredibly important. All of the things that we create here in the physical realm have begun with thought. When enough people start thinking about things, then they will wake up, and then action will then follow. And I think we have the power to create a better world. We can create a better self. And I think now is definitely the time to do that. I think our environment is in dire need. And I think our people are starving. And I call them our people because I really do believe that we all belong to each other. And I don't think that anything that we do in life is solely just for us. It's all part of a ripple effect that affects the entire universe. If you think about how a smile changes a person's day, you can start there. That's a very good example. It's about how paying attention outside of what everybody else is doing and saying could actually mean for humanity.
What are some tips to achieve this form of enlightenment?
Well, I think we have to be grateful for something every day. It's a great practice to have. But I also think that when you look at people, try to pick out something of value in them, because every single person on this planet has some value. And you really shouldn't hesitate to acknowledge this. Some of those lower forms of emotions like jealousy are just really not necessary. When you get to a point to really recognize the value in others, it really feeds yourself too. I also think that we need to compete with better standards for ourselves and not focus on competition with others, because I think it's really dispersive of energy. Acknowledge that they have value and see what they can contribute. And when other people succeed, then we do too. So I also think that focusing on that big picture is essential. And don't try to win arguments, but work toward growth and accomplishment. Remove the negative things from your life. That's something that we all probably need to continually do on a regular basis, because sometimes they just kind of creep up from every direction. We need to practice saying what we want in our life and then really visualize what it takes to get there.
going to come out with your self-help tapes, your videos?
Working on some books, and I started writing when I was very little. I have those books and books of poetry, obviously that I did not publish because a lot of them were personal. But I've been writing for a very, very long time. In fact, I've always been in love with words. As far back as I can remember, I must have been a toddler, and I was in the family room when I was little, and I picked up a magazine, and I was flipping through the pages, and I understood the pictures. And then I would look at all these little figures that were just perfectly neat in rows, one after another. And I remember thinking, they're so beautiful. I wish I could understand what they mean. And I think that that was really the beginning of my love affair with words and language. And I think that, that's always been a part of my life. I think that I need to maybe focus a little more on sharing some of those things and getting them out there. But I'm working on it. And I do have, obviously, some publications that are out there currently. You can see those on the website and some other places, newsletters. But, if I get a chance to inspire people, then I will definitely consider that a blessing. And I like I said, I think you really get something by inspiring other people. It feeds me so much. It's just incredible. For example, I used to go to prison, and I used to talk to some of the juveniles that were in the prison. And I would go in there, and I would talk to them, and when I would leave, it would give me so much. Here are people that are considered undesirable in society. And what you realize is that they are the result of a lot of things that we have as, that would be seen as flawed. But at the same time, they would give so much back to me. I would learn so much about humanity and the way that people think. And, there was a lot of value in that. And I think that that's really what it's all about. And that's kind of what motivates me is that when you really are sensitive to a lot of these things and you start giving them back to other people, my goodness, you are getting so much back from that.
What I'd like to do right now is to get you to give out your website information and contact information.
You can log on to mygdg, that's the Global Development Group.org, and also a lot of resources for a lot of the things that we've been talking about today. But you can read many articles. I've got a lot of things available for them to read.
Just a peripheral question about your life, and at least your grandparents. How did that really affect the way you look at yourself today as you grew up? Or did you even think in the back of your mind, I was meant for something even better than what I know that I am now?
All of us are meant for something bigger than where we're currently standing. I really believe that. But also, I think that, seeing the hardships that my family went through and also seeing all of the blessings that were in their life, that really makes you look at the world pretty deeply, I think. At least it did for me. And I do want to do things that are good for humanity, that are good for society, and good for my family. I know that there are some people who have failed in the past and have become corrupt, and I would hope that I can stand for something that's good and decent, that is sensitive to the value of human life. So has it inspired me? Yeah, I think it has, because I believe what my grandfather would say. And he said that, the more blessings that are in your life, the more responsibility you need to take. And that's really how he looked at life, and I know my grandmother agreed with him as well. And the more that, you're given, the more that you need to do for others. And so I think that has definitely affected me. What more affects you is what did they do with it? And I think that my grandmother and my grandfather were a good example of what you should do with it. And that is be responsible and do what is good for other people with it. And not just think of yourself. And be giving. And there have been a lot of people through history who haven't gotten it right, who have been very selfish, who have been corrupt and not done what they know would have been best. So hopefully, regardless of who you're related to or not related to, because that when you cross over the other side, we're all just spirit. We need to take more responsibility. And if that's something that, I could just say, well, hey, here it is, and somebody pays attention, and then they hear my message, and it's good, then I guess there was a good reason for it. But other than that, hopefully, there isn't anybody who uses that as an excuse that really has to be considered too. If you don't have humility, eventually it's going to come back and bite you.
I want to thank you again for being on the show, Dianne. You've been an excellent guest today, and I think our listeners have learned a whole lot from you today, and I'd like to encourage you to go check out the Global Development Group website. This is Paul Price with the Prophecy Chronicles today, saying thank you for listening, and I would like to thank the Dark Plains Radio Network for allowing me to do the show on the air on their network. Its affiliate corporate sponsors. Next week, same bat time, same bat channel. Remember, you will find the truth here. What you do with it is up to you. This is Paul Richard Price, signing off with the Prophecy Chronicles. Have a good day, and God bless.